This door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out. From the pampered to the abused. This door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
No, it's dead. Wait, the earpiece is back there. Oh, who cares? Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you? That's good. This is all about being flexible now, isn't it? Okay, well, welcome. I'm Reverend Tracy Earlywine. Delighted to have you here this morning, and delighted to have our friends that are online. We have several people who join us every week, and then a few drop-ins, so we say hello to them. And remind ourselves how good it is to be in community, how good it is to come together and remember that we're not out there all alone. We are, in fact, part of a community of loving, supportive friends and family and friends we haven't met yet, and that we come to remind each other of just how magnificent life is. Even when it doesn't feel that way, underneath it all, we know it's still true. So it's good that you come. Good that we see each other, good that we hug each other into remembering how good life can be. So welcome. This morning our practitioner is Patty Powers. I just want to remind you that we have a meditation before service, if you'd like, in the chapel at 10 o'clock, yes, for 15, 20 minutes, just a chance to get centered before you come in here for the service, so you're welcome to join us. Our practitioner of the week is the one leading that, and that's the little building right next door. Patty's also available after service, as all our practitioners are. If you'd like a little instant prayer, she's real good at that instant prayer thing, or you can put in a written request up front here. We also have a confidential phone line. You can leave a message, and our practitioners will pray for you during the week. It's a great way to get spiritual support and just to remind yourself that you are always anchored in that presence, in that oneness, in that healing love that is the truth of life. We have music today. We've got Jeff on keyboards, and we welcome back the Jacksons. I'm already dancing, but before we do that, let's get centered, shall we? And silence our cell phones. So is Mercury in retrograde today or something? Because apparently we have mechanical things. Well, we're going to go non-mechanical. We're going to listen to the sound of the bowl and just take that deep breath and go within. So I invite you to close your eyes. And let that tone remind you that within you is a place of peace. Within you is that place of the heart and spirit where we remember oneness.
And in this oneness, in this space where there is only one, there is only now, there is only here, we know that we are always and ever supported. We know that as we are supported, that our energy goes out into the world and supports everyone around us. We know that the repercussions of a smile can go for miles as it's passed from person to person. And we also know that today is a wonderful day, is a blessed day. And we know that everyone here hears something just for them, something they can take into their week. And so we know today is fun and interesting. And we just are ready. And we let it go and let it be and say together, so it is. Thank you. My reading today is from the Spiritual Interpretation of Scripture by Joel Goldsmith. About 500 BC, it was written, "It easily happens that a man, when taking a bath, steps upon a wet rope and imagines that it is a snake. Horror will overcome him, and he will shake from fear, anticipating in his thought all the agonies caused by the serpent's venomous bite. What a relief does this man experience when he sees that the rope is no snake. The cause of his fright lies in his error, his ignorance, his illusion. If the true nature of the rope is recognized, his tranquility of mind will come back. He will feel relieved. He will feel joyful and happy. This is the state of mind of one who has recognized that there is no personal self, that the cause of all his troubles, cares, and vanities is a mirage, a shadow, a dream. To material sense, sin and disease appear as real entities having substance, law, cause, and effect. To material sense, both sin and disease seem personal and tenacious. But to spiritual consciousness, both sin and disease are unrealities, in the sense that they exist only as the product of a universal belief of a selfhood apart from God. Thank you.
Good morning. We always enjoy being here. And you know, we love what we do. And part of what makes what we do complete is having an audience. So we thank you. We thank you for being that for us this morning, whether you're here or whether you're out there live streaming. We thank you. And we have a couple of new songs to share with you this morning. This first one is called "It Begins With Me." When I love and embrace all of me, it opens doors that allow me to see I am beautiful and I am worthy. When love supports my choices, I can clearly see. When I start with love for me, I feel good and and I am free. Love supports me in every way. I turn away from doubting the decisions that I make. It begins right here with me. When I see the truth and believe, and I give from my heart and receive all the love that's been given to me. Now I see the possibilities, and I give a whole lot more to me. No longer hiding, I've learned to love myself. My life keeps getting better. Every day this love is felt. It begins right here with me. When I see the truth and believe, and I give from my heart and receive all the love that's been given to me. All the love that's been given to me. Thank you.
Fabulous as always. Thank you so much. All right, so Ed, I don't know if we can put the earpiece back on just so I can move around. Is that, can we reconnect? Because otherwise my necklace will contribute to my talk the entire time. Because you know I can't stand still. Y'all can talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Okay, what do you think? Are we there? Are we there? We're there. Thank you, everyone, for helping make that work. See, there's no like glamour in what I do, right? There's like cords and wires and plugs, and here we are. Okay, well, thank you all. So let's take a moment and light our candle. And this morning, I'm lighting our candle for remembrance. In case some of you did not see the e-blast this week, Ona Tate has made her transition after a short illness. And if you know Ona, you know that she was very engaged in who we are and what we teach. She loved a good Wednesday night conversation, and she had one of the best laughs and biggest smiles ever. I also want to pause and remember George Halista. He and Marilyn had moved to Colorado to be near their kids, and I was informed by the Mayos that in mid-January he made his transition. So I have not yet spoken with Marilyn, so I don't have any real information about that, but I will let you know as I know. But what I know about George is that he was as much of a curmudgeon as he could be. he wanted to learn. He was engaged in class. He was willing to have a discussion. And he was quiet, and he did amazing woodwork. He was quite the gifted artisan and just a delight. So both of them will be missed very much. So it's February, we start a new theme. Our theme this month is curiosity. Curiosity as a superpower. Because it truly is, it's what pulls us to learn more, to be more, to find things out. It helps us to see what is underneath or behind what's going on. And it reminds us to be excited about possibilities. And in that way, it's actually a spiritual practice to keep us engaged, to help us stay a little bit above and beyond whatever's going on. So we'll be exploring curiosity every week this month as a spiritual practice. Walt Disney says that we keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Everything that lies beneath the surface is a bit of a mystery. And for some of us, that creates a sense of excitement. Ooh, I wonder what's going to happen next. And for some of us, and for all of us at some times, it's frightening. It's scary. It's who knows what the monster is under the bed, which is our title today, The Monster Under the Bed. If we let fear keep us from our curiosity, we stop growing and expanding and transforming. And so it behooves us to remember to be curious. And kids do this naturally, right? Kids take off into the world like it's all out there for them. They don't have any idea that walking along the top of the brick wall 15 feet above the sidewalk could be dangerous, right? They just go for it because they assume that whatever's out there in life is exciting and it's something they should try. And of course, as we grow up, we as adults, we get a little more cautious. We become so aware of the risks involved. We become influenced by the culture in which we live in, which tells us what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, how old you should be or shouldn't be, etc., etc. We get to be afraid to try things. And yet the soul within us, what the children know, is that call to become, to discover, to move into the realm of possibility, because there is always more for us. More to be, more to learn, more ways to love, more ways to express life, more ways to be our best selves. So we have to cultivate our curiosity as adults. It's already there. We just have to create an environment that it can grow in, much as we prepare a garden. It has to be ready for us, which means we have to be willing to look beyond appearances, which is what Science of Mind teaches, that there is more to life than what we can see and sense, and that in that mystery is the possibility, is the potential for the all good. But it is mysterious, and there are things that are unseen, and it is all about the unknown, and here's where we cue the scary music, right? That wasn't even planned. You're so good. Yes, it's that place where, don't go into the basement. The thing is, when we finally turn on the light, when we finally peek under the bed, when we finally creep down the stairs, what do we discover? Most of the time, it's nowhere near our worst imaginings, right? It isn't. What we find is this potential for something wonderful. If you look under the bed, you might find that earring you lost, or that baseball card from who knows how long ago. Or dust bunnies, yes, or the cat. It just all depends on your house. But you probably won't find whatever it is you're so frightened of. Because that fear is what we do to ourselves based on what we think might happen, based on who knows what, past experiences, what people told you growing up, what you could and couldn't do, who you should and shouldn't be. We get to choose, and we forget, unless we consciously remember that curiosity serves us, that asking questions grows us, that exploring will bring us to something brand new that we can appreciate, that we can expand from. The truth is, scary is a judgment, right? It's something we judge, we say it's scary. Because what's scary for you may not be scary for me. We're watching this show about the special forces training where normal celebrity, well, as normal as celebrity people can be, celebrity people are in SEAL training. Okay, so they're out there, living in the barracks, carrying rucksacks, jumping out of things and off of things and under things and into water and all this stuff that no normal person would do. Because they're scary things. And they're doing them. So what's scary for one is not scary for another. Or what is frightening for one person can be overcome by someone willing to try. We have within us the ability to be willing to try. And from that, we will always learn something about ourselves, about the world, about each other. The thing is, fear and judgment block our growth, right? If we tell somebody they're crazy, we make a judgment about them, that's a full stop to the conversation. You're crazy. What is there to talk about? I'm not going to talk to a crazy person. I'm not going to talk to somebody who calls me crazy. If I tell myself something is too hard, I can't do that. Full stop. I've shut the door. I've restricted my ability to learn or grow or expand by judging something, by being afraid of something. Walt Whitman has said that to be curious, not judgmental. And Steve Nash, he's a life coach, and he says, when you don't get what you want, be curious, not judgmental. When it's taking too long, be curious, not judgmental. When you're having some negative thoughts, when the world feels scary, when you don't know what to do, be curious, not judgmental. When the path seems to come to an end, be curious, not judgmental. You see, when we are curious, we open the door to a way forward, to a possibility. We can ask ourselves what else might be happening here, what else might be possible here. We open that little, what my friend calls a pinprick of possibility. It's like, I don't need a whole lot. Right? I'm not going to be able to know how things are going to turn out. I just need a little peephole that maybe something good could happen here. We call that faith. We call that trusting in the process of life. We call that understanding that life is for us. No matter what's happening, there's something here for us. And when we trust that, we can continue to move forward through and beyond fear and judgment or self-doubt. That curiosity becomes the bridge from doubt and fear into possibility, into expansion, into growth. Now, we're also subject not only to our own judgments, but to the judgments of others. What'd you hear growing up? Right? What kinds of things did you hear growing up that maybe turned out not to be true, or that just, if you think about it now, they were pretty negative? Somebody give me something. What'd you hear? Don't talk to strangers. Okay. What else? You're never going to graduate. I was told, well, if you take a year off to go to work, you'll never go back to college. Maybe you were told you weren't good at something. Maybe you were told, well, people like us don't become whatever. I was reading the story of Misty Copeland. She's the first African-American lead dancer for the American Ballet Theater. You know, she grew up in a mixed-race household, everything from living in beautiful neighborhoods to hotels in Gardena, you know, and didn't even discover that dance was a possibility until she was in her early teens. Most professional dancers, especially in the classical ballet field, start when they're children, smaller children than that. And here she is, the principal dancer. So whatever you were told, I'm sure whoever it was meant well at the time or thought they were telling you the truth, but they weren't. Because what we know is that possibility is always present, and that our ability to tap into something greater within is always present. It comes down to how we talk to ourselves, how we encourage each other, how we are willing to see and expand and encourage the progress of ourselves and each other. You know, what do you tell your kids? If you're raised in this philosophy, you can only be encouraging, you can only be supportive. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we say everything is la la la, right? It does mean, however, that if somebody gets hurt or discouraged, we're right there to say, I hear that you're hurt and discouraged. And what I also know is that there's a way to figure this out. There's a way to learn. There's a way to become what it is you want to do. But we have to cultivate that. We have to make sure that that's part of our inner conversation, that that's part of our spiritual practice. It's not enough to say that God is all there is if you don't feel it in a moment when you are disappointed, right? It's not enough to say that life is for us when you are in the midst of chaos or drama or tragedy and you don't feel like anyone is around to help you. You have to be able to reach out and ask for help. You have to be able to pause and go within and remind yourself that whatever's going on is temporary. You have to be able to remind yourself that you can ask the right questions in order to keep moving. And what are those questions, you know? The questions have to do with, what am I capable of? What do I want to do? What am I pulled towards? Stevie Wonder said that when he was a child, kids used to make fun of me because I was blind. But I just became more curious. How can I climb this tree and get an apple for that girl? That's what mattered to me. You see, when we know what matters to us, we will find a way forward. When we know what we value, what's important, what calls to our heart, what makes us excited, what we get enthusiastic thinking about, we will find a way. We always do. It's the nature of life when we let Spirit be who we are, because that's truly who we are. There's I don't know who said it, but there was a quote in my reading that said, "Stop being the brake man and causing the friction." It's like we cause the friction in our own lives because we start to tell ourselves we can't do something, or it's not possible, or it's not good. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. Now, sometimes, whatever that new thing is, you really don't want to do it by yourself. You kind of want a friend. Like for me, I love it when somebody says, "Oh my gosh, have you tried this restaurant? It's so good. It's Ethiopian food." I don't know anything about Ethiopian food. It sounds interesting, but I'm a little intimidated. I don't know that I would walk into an Ethiopian restaurant by myself and figure out what to order. But I'll go with somebody who knows the restaurant, who will say, "Oh, well, let's try this and let's try that." And, "Oh, you're going to love." I'm open to that. And now I know how to eat at an Ethiopian restaurant. We do that, right? We need a friend sometimes. My mom was really good for that. I could get her to try anything. If I liked it, she wanted to do it, right? You know, and you know me, I'm a Starbucks girl. So I taught my mother to order a venti decaf, no whip mocha, extra hot. Now, she never, ever would have figured that out on her own. She probably never would have even gone into Starbucks. But in the early days of Starbucks, we figured out that's what she liked and that's what she got. I'm just saying, sometimes a friend can lead the way. It's a good thing. And it's okay to ask. That stepping into something new, that trying something out there in the unknown can be simple, right? When we talk about seeing beyond appearances, it's not just some esoteric spiritual idea. It's simple. It's a retired person picking up the community college catalog and looking for a class. That's looking beyond what my life is now and saying, what else might I do? What else might interest me? It's when the one who likes to tinker in the garage is figuring out what might make something better for one of his grandkids, or how you might change this lamp to do something special. The possibilities are endless, right? It's simple. To see beyond appearances simply means to be willing to do something or see something or learn something that you don't already know. Well, everything we know happened because we didn't already know it. Now we know it. We didn't always. When you're a kid, nobody expects you to know anything, so they show you everything. When you're an adult, you narrow your vision. Now, focus is a good thing. Having a sense of purpose and a direction is a good thing. We dive deep instead of broad in certain areas of our lives. But let's not get so narrowly focused that we forget to try the mocha, right? Let's not get so intent on one thing that we forget the rest of the world is at our disposal, is available to us, that big banquet table that Ernest Holmes refers to. So when you are curious about something, when your mind is wandering in the direction of what's possible, you go exploring, right? Google it. I look stuff up all the time. I love having Google. It's so much easier than that big, huge set of encyclopedias and Time Life library books that, you could look in, you fall in and never come out again. Although I will say, as a child, I come from a family of readers, so it's all about words, right? And I remember that my grandmother had a complete Webster's dictionary. It's like this thick. So thick that it had those little tabs where you set in so you could open to the X's or the Y's. And then you'd go look up the word so you'd remember. And I don't know about you, but I would go look up the word and then I'd end up reading the whole page because there were all these other words in that page too. And that excitement still lives in each of us. It's still there when we are willing to be there, to open to it, to be available. That is Spirit speaking to us through our own hearts. That is life expressing creatively as us, uniquely as us. This is who we are meant to be. So if you get stuck, try saying to yourself, I wonder what else is going on here. I wonder how this might be different. I wonder what I could do to make this day better. To say I wonder is to create a wonderful life, right? I wonder. What else could it be? When you're judging yourself, when you're afraid to try something, when you're playing those old tapes that tell you you're not going to make it through school or get that job that you really want, or that somehow you're not enough, ask yourself, if I just did this one thing, what would happen if I tried this? How about I read that book instead of watching TV? I wonder. Do you see how that opens up instead of shutting you down? When other people are acting crazy, as they sometimes do, not that we would tell them that because that would shut down the conversation, right? We already talked about that. But what if I said, I wonder why they lashed out like that? I wonder what's going on with them today. Wow, something must be happening in their lives for them to be that irritable. That's a whole different approach That's a much more expansive and inclusive way of being in the world than simply shutting someone out or pushing yourself away. I'm not saying stay in a toxic situation. No. I wonder why they're lashing out like that. I'm going to go stand over here where it's safe. Nothing wrong with that. But be curious. Seek understanding. Remind yourself that you're here to grow and become and to learn. And so are all the rest of us. And we can do that. And when life is hard, when life is what's pushing against you, then the questions are, what's here for me? What is here for me to know? This whole situation is miserable. What could I possibly learn or take away, or who can I reach out to for help? I wonder why things work this way. Any question like that will lead you toward discovery. And discovery is always about expansion. And that is what we're here to do. That is the nature of life, is to expand. When you get confronted with someone or something that says it's either this or this, you know any people like that? Black or white, right? Right or wrong, good or bad. Do this or do that. There's a third way. There's always a third way. There's always a third way. Ask yourself, what could the third way possibly be? These are the things that will keep us opening up rather than shutting down. So when we're confronted with a mystery or the monster under the bed or some unknown thing that's being shown to us that we want to back away from, instead, we can peek. We can look for that pinprick of possibility. We can understand that there is a potential for good here, somewhere, somehow. And Ernest Holmes says that when our desire to know becomes stronger than the fear of the unknown, we are compelled to find a way. We can lean into our conviction or our curiosity that the universe is for us. We can lean into our faith and allow our fear to be transformed into excitement. Because when you think about it, the physical sensations of fear and excitement are very similar. It's just a question of intensity. When I'm really excited about something, I can kind of feel my energy bouncing around a little bit. My stomach's kind of going, and I'm kind of like on high alert. Well, when I'm afraid, I do the same thing, except I usually freeze in addition to all those other things. Right? But what if I could transfer that fear into excitement? And that's what our practice is to remember that life is for us, and to remember that we are in a place where curiosity will show us a way forward. And so your challenge this week is that any obstacle that you come up against in a conversation, in a relationship, within yourself, making a decision, anything that looks like a problem in your life, practice saying, I wonder. Practice saying, I wonder. And let's see what happens. Let's see what you wonder about. Let's see where that leads. Let's see how that changes the way that you feel. Because I truly believe that it will. If you see yourself as curious, as growing, as wanting to learn, your experience of anything and everything will be different. I'm going to close with a quote from Albert Einstein. He says the important thing is never to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity. Namaste. And I invite you to join me in a moment of prayer. Breathing in. Breathing into that awareness of your heart, of your mind, of that call of the soul to become, to grow, to transcend. For this is truly the power of the Spirit within, of life itself expressing through and as each one of us. For what I know to be true is that there is a flame of desire within me, given of and by the Spirit for its expression as life through me, as only I can live it. And as this is true for me, I know too that it is true for everyone here. That each life is that flame, that light, that element of becoming that is the essence of all life. And as I see it in myself and I see it in others, I recognize that all of us are here to discover, to go on adventures, to ask the questions, to live with great joy and enthusiasm. That we are here to trust that questions have answers, that our path has a next step, that life continues, no matter the appearance, no matter the occasion, no matter the happenings around us. Life is, and life is good, and life is God expressing. How sweet it is to realize that all that I do and all that I desire is part of the good of life, part of the banquet of life, and even more than I can imagine. That good is. I see it for me. I see it for everyone. And so I step forward in gratitude, grateful for the gifts of life, those I see, those I don't yet see, those that are already becoming, and that part of me which is already expanding. I am grateful for the love that life is that I see in and through and as my friends and family and those I haven't even met yet. How grateful I am for this path of discovery and uncovering all that is real, all that is true, all that is good. And I release my word into that one mind, that one consciousness of life, knowing that all things are whole, perfect, and complete, knowing that love cradles all of us in all ways and always. It is good, for it is all God, and so it is. Please join me in saying our affirmation. You'll find it in your program. I'll read a sentence and ask you to repeat after me, so those of you joining online can say it along with us. I know that life is for me. I explore my world with confidence. And so it is. All right, let's have a little more music, shall we? Welcome back the Jacksons.
Thank you, Reverend Tracy.
Well, if I put my glasses on, I can't see you at all. There wasn't anything that you said that I did not relate to.
Awesome.
Jeez. One of the things that you know, we do love to come out here and play. In fact, we love to play everywhere, but before we play, I go through anxiety and fear, especially when we're doing songs that we've never done for anybody before. It's a very scary thing for me to get in front of people and to talk or play or do any of that thing. Once we start, once the first 5 or 6 notes gets played, then you get into it. But before that, it's facing your fear, and there are so many things in my life that I have faced that have turned out to be incredible things. For instance, sushi.
Sushi.
Now, I don't know how many of you were born eating sushi, but at some point, if you wanted to try it out, it was a very fearful thing, and you certainly don't know how to order it.
Yes.
Anyway, but luckily, because of my wonderful wife and friends, I was taken out a few times and found out that I really, really liked it. I still don't know how to order it. But anyway, I just thought that I'd share that because anything that we do, that is new, for me is a little fearful. But taking that step can be the most amazing thing in the world. So, Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
This is a song. Okay. And I somewhat worry about things like this because I think I'm being too active or too whatever. Who knows what I think? I certainly don't. But it's called, what is it called? This is it. It's called A Celebration of Life. We are a celebration of life. Okay, and the thing that helps me to do this is the messages that I'm being given when I write this. I have no idea when I sit down and I write this stuff, what it's going to be. But when I wrote this one, it just made me feel good. It made me feel like dancing down the street. So hopefully it'll do a little of that for you. We are a celebration of love. I can see it shine, I can feel the power. The miracle of love is when you give it away and it just gets stronger. It was given to us and will cover the world and bring us together. Every day we celebrate God's love. I'm so amazed by the power of love. It connects faith to the spirit of my soul. The beauty that surrounds us, the joy in my heart, is a gift that's been given to us all. You can be who you want to be. See the truth in everything you see. From your heart with a spirit of love, send it out to everyone. We are a celebration of love. I can see us shine, I can feel the power. The miracle of love is when you give it away and it just gets stronger. It's been given to us and will cover the world and bring us together every time we celebrate God's love. Every day we celebrate God's love.
Well, I, for one, am glad that you are willing to face your fears because we all benefit. So thank you so much for sharing your gifts with us. Whew, okay then. Got all kinds of good stuff going on these days. We have a special speaker on Wednesday night at Gateway. It's our very own Diane Clemens. It's our community presenter night. Diane is talking about be your own Valentine. Yeah, it's all about love this month, of course. I hope you are appreciating our Valentine tree over here. It is lovely, isn't it? Now, we have decided as a board, and I hope you'll understand that we have shifted positions slightly. We have decided not to leave it up all year long. I know, right? It's so delightful, and yet I was speaking to some people that don't go here that wanted to rent our space, and it didn't feel quite as appropriate for a celebration of life for somebody that I didn't know. That I don't know, it just seemed like it was a little bit much. We love it and appreciate it, but after Valentine's Day, it will go away again. So maybe they'll help take it down. Well, you know, the first one's all about love. It's okay, but we probably don't want little green leprechauns up there for the next memorial that we do here. So we love it. It's gorgeous. Make sure you appreciate it. And yes, it will be getting put away till next Christmas, but it has been fun, hasn't it? Anyway, so Diane will be talking Wednesday night about Be Your Own Valentine. Before that, here in the practitioner room, we have our meditation at 6:15, and the service for the speaker will be at 7 in the chapel. So do join us for that. It's a great way to have a real conversation about spiritual topics in a way that apply to your own life, because we always have a discussion as well on whatever our topic is. So do think about coming. If you need a ride, maybe you don't drive at night, but maybe you'd like to participate, hey, let us know. We'll come get you. We'll bring you. We'll make it work for you. All right, our Enneagram class with Drac ends today. So our third session, for those of you that have been following along, how's it been? Yeah, you liking it? Delightful? Yes. Informative? You feel all educated and stuff? It's good. It's good. And thank you, Drac, for taking that on. That's just, I've heard nothing but good feedback about it, so that's great. Let's see. You are invited to Ona Tate's Celebration of Life, which will be Saturday, February 18th at 11:30 here in the sanctuary, with a reception to follow. The family would love for all of you to come. I will put flyers out next week so that you'll have it, but just you can save the date again, Saturday the 18th, so a week from Saturday, so 2 weeks from now. Annual meeting is the next day, Sunday the 19th is our annual meeting. We have a couple board positions to fill. We want to also tell you all about the wonderful things we did this last year. In case you don't remember, we'd be happy to point those out for you. And then talk about where we're going this next year. And I've asked each of you to think about how we might be more present in our community, how we might invite people in to know what we know, to learn what we're talking about in some way beyond Sunday morning. What can we do beyond Sunday morning that takes Science of Mind into the community in a greater way? Do you have an idea for a book study? Is there a social event that you think might promote Science of Mind principles? Just whatever. We'll do a little brainstorming, and we'll start doing some new things just to, I don't know, get our energy up, that pinprick of possibility and all that. That's who we are. So be thinking about that. Yes, Graham.
I can't remember, did we do lunch before, or did we bring our own lunch?
We usually do lunch before. So in the past, we've gone to the hall and come back for the meeting. So we'll either do something like that, or we'll have finger food out front and then come back in, something like that. So yes, you will get to eat. That will be good. You're so much easier to talk to when you're not hungry. Hangry comes to mind. All right, so that's 2 Sundays from now, not next week. I'm not ready for it next week, 2 weeks from now. We have a foundations class, the basic class of Science of Mind, that will begin on February 23rd, which is a Thursday. It is a daytime class from 10 to 12:30. Reverend Mary will be teaching it, so if you have questions, or if that time doesn't work for you and you want to talk about an alternate time, if we have enough people, we can always do an evening class as well. So if you are new to the philosophy and you want to learn more about what we talk about on Sundays, a little more in depth, a little more personally applicable, this is the class for you. And our second level class will begin the 1st of March. It'll be the Essential Earnest, but I don't have a date and time yet because I want to talk to the folks that are going to be taking it to make sure everybody's available. We will do that class starting in March. We have another save the date for April 15th. Does that date sound familiar? Yes. Well, you know what's really good about it this year is first of all, it's a Saturday, which means it's a really good night for a party. So we're going to have a fundraiser dinner dance. It's been a while since we've been able to do that, right? It is a themed dinner dance. You are not required to wear costumes, but if you happen to have something from the Renaissance Fair lying around, the theme is Starry, Starry Night, as in knights in shining armor, right? Starry, Starry Night, dinner dance, music, dancing, sumptuous hors d'oeuvres, not just any kind, sumptuous hors d'oeuvres, and a dinner feast, along with raffles and silent and live auctions. It's going to be fun. It's been a long time since we've been able to have a really nice event like this. So save the date. It's April 15th. Tickets are $45 individually or $80 for a couple. If you've got friends that like to dance and dress up, bring them. If you do not like to dress up, come anyway, because we know you like to eat. So even if you don't dance, you could eat. And maybe you'll find something at the auction you want to bid on. So it benefits the center. It's a lot of fun for us to get together in a social way, and really fun to be able to invite folks from the outside to join in with us just for a good time. There are flyers out there yet or coming soon? There will be flyers. It's not till April. Yeah, you got a little time yet. So April 15th, I know you won't forget the date. All right. That's really it for the new things. Again, if you are interested in possibly serving on the board, do talk to Graham right here. Yay. Graham has all the things to know. Or you can ask our board members. Our board members that are here, raise your hand. See, there's a few of those. How many former board members do we have? Yeah, see? Oh, look. See, you could talk to anybody and be on the board. This is good. And see, they didn't die from it either, right? They're still here. They still come. It must have been okay, right? We'd love to have you. I think that's all I have. Anybody have anything else? Oh, Ingrid, are we back on today? We have our breath meditation. Breathwork meditation at 12 o'clock in the practitioner room right off the foyer here with Ingrid. Welcome back. Hope you're feeling better. All good. Yep. Okay. Yes. Oh, the tithe. That's great. Thank you, Mickey. Yes, we all contribute to keep this place going. Oh my goodness. Yes, if you have an offering for today, there are baskets in the back of the room. There are buttons online. How many of you, or do any of you use PayPal to make an automatic tithe? Yeah, that's what I do. It just that way I can't forget, and I have no excuse if I'm out of town. I'm just not mentioning any names here, but really, people, really. It's an easy way to do it. So however you give, know that what you are giving to is the sense of love and community that we all share. And one of the ways that God shows up is financial. So thank you so much for your contributions. Say with me our prosperity affirmation. This is the truth of what we know. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now, and that's the truth. All right, my friends, let's stand up and rock out to a little Eddie Watkins.
Take a look at the person next to you and say, God love